lovelies, this is Debbie Dachinger, and welcome to the Dare to Dream radio show, el show de radio. So listen, how are your dreams coming? How are them ghouls coming along? Hope wonderful. You know, in Access Consciousness, that is a workshop I've been introduced to, and I took the beginning workshops, love it, and they say, don't say the word goal, say the word target. So, okay, but whatever word you want to put in there, as long as you're moving ahead to your passions, your joy, and your desire, and you're making it happen in your life. So, my darlings, we are going to talk about ego. Isn't that interesting? And so, of course, I come up with this subject. Oh, I know what I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about ego. Come up with this subject, and then, like, this morning, the person I was having a conversation with kept coming up. I don't know why she kept saying the word ego. And I was like, there's just no mistake. I'm supposed to talk about ego. So the first thing I know about ego is I have heard it described as an acronym, edging God out. Or some people say easing God out. And that's really interesting because that is not what our dreams are about. So creating our dreams really means going beyond our ego, because creating our dreams, really fully embodying, experiencing, creating into our reality, is about generating our passion. And it is through taking action, indeed. It is through knowing we're a part of the all that is, and so therefore we are capable and absolutely can create that. In addition, it happens because we release and we let go. You know, in 12-step programs, why are they so successful? Well, 12-step programs talk about the ego, and they talk about eliminating the ego because an addict can finally succeed at life without substance abuse or whatever the addiction may be, because the 12-step programs actually recognize that we're powerless to control our life experiences out of the ego self. That's the difference. And it teaches us that we can access the power of our true spiritual self. Isn't that a beautiful delineation? Because I know in the past I've heard people say, oh, I have a problem with 12-step programs because they say I'm powerless over alcohol, gambling, sex, food, fill in the blank. But what it really teaches is not that. What it really teaches is that you are powerless over that egoic part of you. And that is the part that says, I'm separate, man. I am me, me, me. There's no God, there's no oneness, and humanity, I was going to say something else. But screw him, you know, basically, pissed, mean, countries at war, people at war, neighbors at war, how we even treat people at a light or a stop sign. There's a level of selfishness. And selfishness is not spiritual, and it will never save this planet, nor will it give us the lives we truly desire. So, egoic self operates from 5 senses. It believes our physical reality is reality. It generally tends to feel alone and lonely. It's clear it's an individual. It operates independently, separate from all other people, places, things. And the ego likes to get credit. Oh yeah, this is Debbie Dachinger. This is the Dare to Dream radio show, my show. Indy 100, forget it, my show. And it likes to be different, don't we all? And it likes to be noticed. It's also the part of you that connects with the energy of fear and limitation. And it says, because I'm an individual and I'm independent, in order for me to survive and fend for myself and get what I want, I'm going to also be really motivated by fear and know there's just that much out in the world, so I better get it. Now, on the other hand, and you'll feel a total energy shift as you hear me say this, because I can feel it here. The other hand, we're going to talk about the soul. Light, yes. So the soul is a deeper, higher conscious, and it contains the ego, yes, but it's also the part of you that's connected to the higher truth, to source energy, to the all that is. And this source is infinite, it's abundant, it's joyful, it's peace, potency, it's purpose. It's everything that is expansive and wonderful. And if there's resistance, it comes from the ego. And so as you become masterful at recognizing, oh, that's the ego speaking, very interesting, what you can do merely and simply is just release it. And every time you do that, this veil of separation, this illusion of not being a part of the all and of the everything just falls away, and you can see, experience, and allow life, your dreams, into your life more easily, because truly, in abundance, it is already here now. And what we accumulate is a form of our ego. It's our car, it's our house, it's our clothing, it's the kind of body we buy. Because these days people buy body parts, don't they? They buy their lips, they buy their, whatever they do to their face, and their this and that, and I don't have to go there. You know what I'm talking about. Even sometimes for some parents, their children are a statement to their own ego, because they say, I need to have a child to carry on my name, to look like me. So what does ego do for us? Why is this ego hanging around, and why do we use it? Why do we employ it? Well, one of the things it actually does is it robs us of peace. Yeah, it takes away our bliss and our wholeness. Interesting, eh? And if we don't understand ego and we let it run our lives, then we buy into separation, division, and duality. And in essence, we don't live in wholeness because we want what is good, not what is bad. We don't want all of life, we want this part of life. But really, when we live like that in that duality, it guarantees our misery. So partial living? Because really there's no good and there is no bad. It's just a labeling of the experience. So to hate is also separate. Here's a really interesting quote from Matthew 5:44, which reads, But as I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them who despise you and persecute you. A meaningful quote, and yet most people go on hating, countries go on warring, religions go on against each other. So if you're truly with the all that is, and see through the illusion of the ego, then to hate your neighbor is hating yourself. To reject somebody else or judge somebody else is to reject and judge yourself. Love thy neighbor, and truly you love yourself. It's pretty profound when you think about it, because if you really start looking at your life and you see the places where this isn't actually working like you'd like, you can make new choices. And ego is incredibly limiting. That's the bottom line. And that's why, by the way, meditation and having a meditation method is so important, because it allows us to focus on nothingness. Because nothingness is really everythingness. I remember when I was learning my meditation practice and I went to the gentleman who I was fortunate, really fortunate to have an audience, in a huge audience of people, and be able to ask a question. And I asked a question, and what he was basically saying about how to shut off the chatter in your mind is, the important thing to remember is, I work at nothing, I do nothing, I am nothing. And I love that. I find it's profound, because from that no thing is where everything comes. It is the seed of everything. So we choose separation to experience the process of becoming whole again. That's really what this whole ego thing is about. We separate to remember our wholeness. In other words, if God is all that is, why did it create the illusion of what it's not? It did it to create itself, to experience itself through separation and reunification. And to create something that's not part of the all that is impossible. So what we're left with really is a series of illusions. Illusions. Our ego is the illusion of separation, and we can experience the joy of becoming whole again. The misery is when we don't see or notice this illusion, and we buy into it, and we say, oh, this illusion is just going to dictate my sad, very sad existence. Here's something from Deepak Chopra, quite beautiful. Our ego makes us attached to the outcome of goals, so you can be free from the dominance of your ego and still have goals. The same thing applies to your inattention. The same thing applies to your intention to have greater abundance and influence. Those inclinations won't necessarily disappear as you shift your allegiance from your ego to your higher self. What will shape the outcome of your goals will be your true nature and your spiritual evolutionary needs. If wealth and power are an integral part of your nature, and if they serve your highest good, then those goals will be attained. If you try to force the outcome of wealth and power through ego and will, You will risk the possibility that you will lose focus on this being for your family and charities, as often happens with ambitious people. And it becomes about amassing money. That path could lead to unhappiness and estrangement from your family. Don't stake your sense of identity and self-worth on the goals of money and power. Focus on being a self-aware, loving person, and let your goals unfold however they will, knowing that your higher self is exactly orchestrating the fulfillment of your deepest needs with a greater intelligence than your ego could ever fathom. How beautiful is that? So you can actually succeed through non-resistance. Imagine that. And the idea, essentially, you just become friends with it. There's my ego. Hi, howdy neighbor, howdy neighbor, ego. I'm not going to resist you. I'm going to actually appreciate you and be thankful because, boy, do you teach me a lot. You're a beautiful teacher. And when you feel that something makes you react, let's say there's an insult, for example, just allow that feeling to come up. Non-suppression. Whoop, there it is, right? If you have issues with other people, thank them. Thank you. In your mind, in your heart, thank you for this opportunity to grow and learn. If someone's a real pain in the woo-woo, just send them compassion. Thank you for showing me the pain in you and the pain in me. If they attack you, if they hurt you in some way, if you react, then truly there is pain in you. Healing is required of both parties. Nothing requires your retribution, only your love. So most goals are based on the assumption that something's wrong in your life which needs fixing, and it's a false assumption because actually there's no inadequacy in you, and there's nothing that needs to get played out in your daily life. And this myth about there's something wrong, I gotta fix it, I gotta attain this goal, I gotta. It's really an oxymoron for creating a joy-filled life. So instead, all you need to really do is tune into your life streams. Move into, this is not about a wish, because wishes, that's Disney. We're talking about real life. So really, what's the essence of what brings you joy? Oi to the joy. That's what I say. That's what I'm talking about. The ego says it's all about me. It says my feelings are hurt because of the names you called me. It says you made me mad because of what you did. It says I'm better than you because I have more money and a fancy car and I live in a beautiful home. It says I have to win because losers are failures. But really, I don't know about you, but I'm watching this whole world spin, and the world does not revolve around anybody in particular. And your feelings are only hurt if you choose to be hurt, and nobody can make you mad unless you choose to be mad, and the only power anybody has over you is the power you give to them. We teach others how to treat us. So just because someone didn't win doesn't mean they are a loser. People who make an effort to do anything are never losers. Nobody given their concept of the world and isness is a loser. There's no such thing. Ego denies the value of diversity. It denies that there's only one race called the human race. It believes in aggressiveness rather than assertiveness. So, putting all the damage aside, in a world that's very interesting and complicated today, you have to be really out of your mind to stop living from within the ego. You have to literally get outside of your mind, to go down to the very core of your essence, your spirit, to live an emotionally healthy, spiritually sound, evolved, conscious, wholly healed life. And remembering that self, S-E-L-F, actually stands for spirit expressing, living fully. That's my interview, DeborahDachinger.com. That's the highest reflection of who we truly are. We're God in human form. Dare to dream.